Ruto saa hii hata shetani yenyewe amemwacha afanye kazi Kenya. Shetani sasa anaenda huko nchi zingine. Hapa Kenya ni si Ruto afanye kazi kwa sababu yeye ni rafiki na shetani wameungana hivi. Kwa sababu vitu ambavyo anafanya sio mtu wa kawaida. Kitu ya kwanza ana utu kwa wananchi wa Kenya. Umejivalia ngozi ya kondo. Umejivalia ngozi ya kondo. Kule ndani ni umbwa mwitu. Kule ndani ni umbwa mwitu. Wacha nikwambie my friend, tunajua kabisa kita
A very good morning and welcome back to Havana Media. My name is Bombshell, and as usual I'm going to be your host for today. Now let me ask this question. Why is it that people normally become wise after leaving the government? When you are in the government, you seems to, like, everything seems to be okay. But the moment you leave the government, that is when now you start exposing what has been happening. When you are serving, you don't see any negative thing. But now the moment you are out of the government is when now you start seeing the loopholes, the mistakes that this person has been doing, all that and all this and all that. I'm asking that question because of what is happening right now. We are right now we have got two people that are very seriously against William Samoei Ruto. Everybody's against William Samoei, everybody's against William Samoei Ruto because of the way he's ruling. But in this video I want us to focus on two people. One, I want us to focus on Rigathi Gachagua. And two, I want us to focus on GB Muturi. Of course, telling us what is happening in the government or what has been happening in the government is not wrong. But now, my question has been this. Why tell us now? Why didn't you tell us when you were in? When now you are out is when you are seeing this thing. Rigathi Gachagua, when he was impeached, he said that he's now a free man, that he will now be able to expose William Samoei Ruto. Okay, he did it very well up to a point that now the thing that he was saying were not making sense. Like he was now trying to tarnish the name of William Ruto now to make William Ruto like okay, it was good, but now it reached a point that now Rigathi Gachagua was he wanted to be on the front page, like he wanted to go viral, he wanted to be heard. So he started adding things, even things that are not there. The Munyoro issue and all that. I don't think if right now Rigathi Gachagua is that much relevant the way he was immediately when he left the office, when he was impeached. You can confirm with him that at the comment section that right now Rigathi Gachagua is not as relevant as he was when he left the office. The moment he started talking about barabara na taja barabara wakigiwa anasema right now, even if he says those things, no one can take him serious. The second person is JB Muturi. And we know one thing I love with Muturi is his stand. And I normally say this, that no matter what is happening, no matter what, don't compromise yourself. Don't lower your standard to fit in people's levels. If you know very well that your standard is very high, just stick to that standard. Anybody who feels like he cannot go with your standard, he will step out. Or you leave them, they will leave you. That is it, period. Don't ever lower your standard to fit in people's groups, yet you know very well that your standard is higher than theirs, and you cannot understand each other. I'm saying this because the moment Muturi's son was abducted, remember Muturi was still in the government. Muturi came out and condemned the abductions, and that is where all these problems began. That is where all these problems started, that Muturi is against the government, Muturi is doing this, simply because he was trying to ask questions concerning the abductions. Okay, it went, and then from there, that is when now Muturi cancelled all the meetings, all the cabinet meetings. All this happened when Muturi was the cabinet secretary. So he cancelled attending the meetings and all that. He wanted answers. Are you seeing? Now, he maintained his stand that we need answers. I cannot continue working with this government. I cannot continue sharing a platform with someone who cannot give answers concerning the questions of the abductions, which was very good. It was very nice. The way it was happening, the way it was doing it was very nice. Now, Kimani Chungwa mentioned something when he was being interviewed at the Al Jazeera that Muturi there's a letter that has been written that Muturi is going to be fired. Okay, it has happened. But now, Muturi right now is exposing William Samoei Ruto's wrong deeds. He's taking us back during the time that he was being nominated to be the Attorney General. He's saying that when a letter was given to him, he first rejected it. It is not bad. But why didn't you tell us at that time that these people are trying to give me this letter to become Attorney General? I've rejected it, and they're still persuading me to become. Okay, I don't see anything wrong with that. Everything is right. Now, the interesting part of this story now is this. Muturi is saying that William Arap Samoei Ruto is unfit to become the president of the Republic of Kenya.
I think William Ruto is a person with two personalities. The William Ruto that presents himself to the public is a completely different character from the one that sits behind in the office and crafts stuff. I think that kind of person is quite a dangerous character. I think William Ruto is actually unfit for the position of President of the Republic of Kenya. I have come sadly to that conclusion. And I have no bitterness. For me, I just feel my own assessment. When I watch William Ruto sometimes talking to members of cabinet and to see him say, I do not want to see corruption in my government, then I start wondering, who is this talking? And I'm sure we will have occasion to discuss a lot.
Is he corrupt?
Who?
William Ruto.
I think, I don't know.
But if you see him talking about corruption, you're like, who is this talking about corruption? Is it because he's corrupt?
I have so many examples.
Not an example, but is he corrupt? Examples aside.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Very. Yes, irredeemably.
Okay.
Corrupt.
One example you can walk us through. I know you've told us that there's many. Just a.
I don't want to give you the obvious ones about the Adanis, because I have some background about it. He's the one who's clearly behind it, and I know this because when his advisor Adan Mohamed invited me to attend the COP28 in Dubai in 2023. He gave me a lot of information which ended up with the Adani deal about the airport specifically. Okay. Even during that same time, some Russian oligarchs who had offered to invest $1 billion here in Kenya. And again, it came from Adan Mohamed. In fact, I have even staff telling me that an NGO, I go and check, and there's no, I said the NGO council says we don't have any such company.
No such thing is registered.
Then, on the day we were coming from India, after that COP28, we flew to India for state visit, blah, blah. I am landing on my way back because Guru, this guy of Defki, I see Ruto around him. It's one of the Guptas. When Guru told me during breakfast on the day we were leaving Delhi, that that plane of the president is not good. I've chatted another one for him as we are going direct. Get an executive jet. I've gotten him. So I land in Dubai. Ruto is calling me. Those people, those Russians want you. They are there. They are in Dubai. They are waiting. You sign things. I said, I'm just at the airport and I'm on transit. I am not leaving the airport.
Right.
He said, no, but they are there. Your people, your staff have already worked on the document. I said, no, I will need to go and review it in office.
This document being the deal.
The deal. They were purporting to give a grant of $1 billion to grow allegedly 3 billion trees towards the 15 billion. William Ruto, whenever he comes up with a program, it's for money making. For him, it's for money making. Now, I come and tell them, they bring me an MOU. I tell them, and I remember I spoke about the MOUs.
Yes.
I told them, it came from the Minister of Environment, which they pushed through. I tell them this thing, the $1 billion can only be by way of a grant, but it cannot come directly to the ministry because under the PFM Act, Section 47, it can only go through the National Treasury. They are trying to avoid that money going to National Treasury, and is money coming from abroad.
Right.
I mean,
you're being asked to sign in an airport.
I'm being told to sign at Dubai airport, and there's William Ruto calling me directly. I'm telling you. But anyway, maybe I could. Let me say this.
No, finish.
Let me say this. I think it's a very unfortunate situation for the country that we have William Ruto sitting in the office as president of Kenya. And we have too many examples to give. And
you knew this before you were. Did you know this before you were fired? Wouldn't this information have been helpful to the people of Kenya if we knew it before?
Like I said, I am a gentleman, and I was going to. In fact, somebody talked about a book. It's a book. The book is already in the works. I started immediately. I left. Actually, just before I left Parliament as Speaker, that's when I began working on it. Then, now that we went into campaigns, I stopped a bit, and then I said, why don't I just wait and finish my experience in the cabinet
before you do an expose?
No,
it's a book
to give so that the book also includes my experience in the cabinet.
And the question I asked before the break is, after going through something so traumatic and tumultuous, why then stay in office? Why stay after all of that?
Good question. Thank you, Janet. I went through a lot of soul searching, and at that point asked, is it worth it? And after consulting a number of close friends, many advised that please stay put. Maybe there's a lot more you could be able to gather about what your administration is doing, and at an appropriate time, let the world know. And therefore, somebody would really have it. When the cabinet was dissolved on the 11th of July, remember the president farbored. If you remember his statement, he even was talking about the Attorney General of the cabinet. I called him, asked him, boss, what is wrong with you? There's no Attorney General of the cabinet. It's the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya. And I told him, you cannot dismiss the Attorney General under Section 12 of the Office of the Attorney General Act without setting up a tribunal, because if you read that section, it puts 5 grounds, and grounds can only be established through a semi or quasi-judicial process, namely a tribunal. In fact, now that the other day, and I have I have a lot of respect for my Muslim brothers and sisters, but I thought the way he said it the other day at the iftar dinner, it was so casual. In fact, I began wondering, do we have a...
When you're talking about endowment funds?
Yes. Okay. There is no Muslim, nothing like that called the Muslim Endowment Fund in the first instance. So it means that he did not consult anybody. He just rose up and spoke just like the way he's doing on top of vehicles, saying anything that...
I want to come back and say, okay, so you say that you sought counsel and you were encouraged to stay, and that by staying you'd be able to uncover. But is that really in the spirit of the interest of Kenyans? Because one might argue that would have been the right time to say, this is a broken system. I mean, everything you've just described, having to make several calls on an individual level for an issue that has affected hundreds of people, already it's a broken system. Why stay within there as opposed to saying, I'm stepping out because my integrity cannot let me stay? within a system that's not serving the people of Kenya. It almost sounds like staying to uncover something it's a personal vendetta. And that supersedes, if a personal vendetta supersedes the interest of Kenyans, then that's also frightening. So why didn't you choose the route of saying, this is wrong? I don't believe that this government is running effectively and transparently, and I'm now going to step down.
I don't think whether one can describe it as vendetta. I did not have any vendetta against anybody. And to find out what exactly the problem is or had been, it was necessary at the time from close advice, which I considered and took. It was necessary that as long as it suited.
Were you not privy to abductions and extrajudicial killings before the abduction of your son? Because again, these are not things that are new to us. These are things that have happened in previous administrations, in the current administration. So are you saying that this was the first time that you came across genuinely, from someone who sat on the National Security Council, this was the first time you came across an abduction when it was your son?
No. But see, it must be understood that the docket that deals with criminal matters is not in the, it does not reside with the Office of the Attorney General, and that anything to do with criminality would be reported even at cabinet level, even at the National Security Council level, would be reported through the CS Interior. But it had never been reported, other than discussing generally the events surrounding the
But you were privy to.
Yeah. So if you're discussing that and you're in the national.
When you say privy, I'm a bit hesitant to respond, because privy, I don't know, maybe you could look at the exact meaning, knowing that there were abductions. Maybe perhaps you could, that would be a better one.
So you knew that there were abductions?
Of course. It was public knowledge.
By the government? Security agencies?
Let me say this. It was never stated that it was by security agencies. Mm-hmm. In fact, other than the usual, political statements that we used to make during the campaigns, nobody ever disclosed that it was being done by the security agencies.
Not during campaigns, at the National Security Council level, mm-hmm. at those high-level government.
It was never, nothing like that was ever mm-hmm. raised. Mm-hmm. And other than recently, on 31st, when the president himself disclosed to the nation and the world that he knew of a police squad mm-hmm. That had been previously mm-hmm. involved in the killings and dumping of bodies in Rivayala and the river, he himself,
yes.
and which he said he disbanded.
Everybody knows that the things William Samoei Ruto is doing is like, we wonder, are we in our nation or we are in a different country? Because you can't tell me that a president is going to launch a sewer line. Amtaro.
See, this is what the president
This is what the president has been launching right now in Maua town.
Let's show them. Let's show them.
Chukua lebo, ni kweli kitu imelaunchiwa leo tu.
Na washaamua kutoa hata lebo yao mapema.
Angalia.
This is what our president has been launching here. Come on, we love our president. Today. What a wonderful president do we have? Just see that signature. We love our president. What a great president we have. Just look at the system. Come on, look. Mchukua kwani unafanya nini? Wewe toka hapa, usiniletee stress zako buda. Rais ni wetu, kwani rais ni wetu. Hii project ni yako. Wewe toka hapa bana. This is our project. This is our presidential project. This is a presidential project.
Over 150. Zimekuja zimelaunch hiyo.
This is a project. Presidential.
And that is the Amtaro classroom. So those are the biggest projects that William Ruto has launched in Central. Mtaro, a used classroom, a primary classroom for that matter. And then KPLC, 4 poles. Kenya KPLC. What else has William Ruto launched? Is there anything that maybe we can say that Ruto launched, and maybe the used tarmac roads that I don't know. Anyway, in this video, I just wanted you to listen to the way Muturi is speaking, because you know these are the kind of people that maybe when we listen to, at least they can tell us, because Muturi has served with William Ruto for 2.5 years. In fact, it's more than 2.5 years, yeah, because Muturi was in Uhuru's government, and they were sitting in the same panel, the same table, sometimes with William Ruto. So he understands. If there is someone who understands William Ruto, I think Muturi understands William Ruto even more than Rigathi Gachagua, because Rigathi Gachagua served with William Ruto less than 2.5 years. Of course, yeah, less. But Muturi served with William Ruto more years. In fact, I think we can say it's 12.5 years, because take 10 years of Uhuru's tenure, and then add 2.5 years. That is around 12.5 years. So 12.5 years, I think, is enough for someone for Muturi to understand William Ruto better than anybody else. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and until we meet again, I have been your host, Bombshell. Bye bye.